Hi, everyone. Welcome to AI from the Front Lines. I'm Bina Amanat. I lead our global Deloitte AI Institute. And today I'm joined by Gabriele. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, would love to hear about your journey to the role that you're in today. A little bit about yourself for our audience.
Thank you, Bina, and thanks for having me and Takeda. So our journey started 3 years ago when we created a new function in Takeda called Data, Digital, and Technology. And that was actually the start of our journey to become a digital biopharmaceutical company. And we actually created a very unique approach, a federated approach, where we embedded digital resources in every business unit to really accelerate the digital transformation in every part of the organization. And now we are pivoting into a new phase of business growth, and we are reimagining the enterprise, ground up.
What does that mean when you say imagining the enterprise ground up? Because I'm a huge believer, because AI is such a transformative technology, right? We cannot go by just looking at use case by use case. Then you're just putting Band-Aid on existing processes. So
exactly. And this is actually what we all experienced just, a couple of years ago in 2023, when we all, play with Gen AI. We started actually piloting Gen AI across the enterprise. But now we are actually experiencing a new inflection point from the agentic AI that, the enterprise will be really transformed inside out. And we want to take this as an opportunity to really reimagine how we operate and how we fundamentally deliver value for our customers. So it's not anymore experimenting with AI and patching here and there, but it's actually reimagining enterprise-wide processes with AI at the core and actually rewiring all functions and teams to really operate at scale in a very different way.
And agentic AI brings so many of those challenges of looking at a use case versus a transformation, because agentic AI is so much embedded into how you think about workforce and talent. How do humans and agents work together to drive the most optimization? What do those roles look like? Do you also look at it from a workforce angle as a transformation?
Absolutely. Our digital transformation is, first of all, about people.
Yes.
Then it's about technology.
Right.
But it's really about reimagining the future of the workforce. And that actually requires also imagining what kind of skills and capabilities we need to create in the organization to enable the next phase of business growth in the next 3-5 years. The big part of our transformation is our digital dexterity program. That is not just about learning new technology. It's about the mindset. It's about the curiosity. It's about understanding how we operate and collaborate in a very different way. And it's about teams and personal productivity. But it's also well-being, right? To free up time to be dedicated in more meaningful and powerful, let's say, activities in the organization. So our digital dexterity program that is now offered to all our employees, 50,000 people across the globe, is actually impacting more than 30% of the entire organization in just 9 months.
So what you're describing about the program that you run is really about thinking about the future of work and what's the kind of new roles, which rightfully we don't know exactly what it might be, but at least we can go towards that direction.
And in Takeda, we are experiencing a unique moment of transformation, an incredible moment where science and technology are accelerating an incredible pace. And at the same time, we are actually entering in a new phase with 6 new products that we are going to launch. This is very unique in our organization. So this is a moment in a lifetime. I call that a moment of purposeful transformation, where it's very important to stay focused, to invest in where we can create more impact for the business, and use this unique moment as a catalyst for a major transformation. And then we require reimagining what kind of capabilities do we need to have to create more resiliency, more agility in the organization that, across the industry now is more important than ever.
How do you see this evolving and shaping over time, right? Because today it's all about AI, but, quantum is around the corner. AI is still growing. Do you see more and more of those digital technologies influencing and shaping your team's capability?
In Takeda, we have 3 different kinds of organizations. We have business units that are basically the organizations that generate revenues, right? We have the business partners that basically are functions like HR, legal. So support, to the business unit. And we have the functions, actually, without which the business unit cannot generate revenue. So we're talking about R&D. Without R&D, you can discover our products. Without global manufacturing and global quality, you cannot manufacture the product that we deliver to our patients. And data, digital, and technology, my function, is categorized in the same, let's say, way as R&D, global manufacturing, global quality. Why? Because data and digital now, without data and digital, you can actually operate the company. It's so embedded. It's actually the fabric of the organization. And it's a big level of transformation for Takeda.
So coming back to why we created the show, AI from the front lines, is to bring stories about what's happening in the front lines, not from thought leaders per se, but also from the leaders who are actually implementing and scaling AI within their organization. If you had to leave our audience with one lesson you've learned in your journey that you would share with other AI leaders, what would that be?
I would say that our organizations are changing in a different ways. And we are asking our leaders to basically wear 3 hats. We are a functional leader because, of course, we are responsible for a function. We need to deliver on our ambition. We are a caring people leader because there's a huge transformation, and it's our responsibility to understand how our teams need to change, need to collaborate differently. And now we did a digital rewiring completely the organization. And we are all digital leaders. And what I mean is that we are not just technologists. We have plenty of technologies in the organization, but it's about the mindset. It's about the customer centricity, the speed, failing fast. It's about impact and creating value for the organization. So those 3 hats are constantly wear by leaders like us, and we need to switch from one hat and to the other one very quickly, right? So that's actually my recommendation, to focus on the people transformation, because that's the biggest asset that we have.
And so relevant for leaders everywhere. So thank you so much for joining us today.